to keep that streak going. A 7-win streak would be something to speak of for Top Esports, but now on the potential of losing out on that streak against an IG who has been struggling recently, especially against Weibo in particular. But we're in game number 2's draft of our final series of the day. It is the Lilia, the Meiko ban from Top Esports on the blue side this time, as IG on the red side going to ban away the Vi and the Skarner, taking away a ton of pieces from Kanavi.
That is a Jace ban from Top Esports, so IG are forcing them to ban that. Otherwise, Jace should get a relatively free lane. And then if they ban the Jace, then Top Esports could also get the Yone. So they're happy with either outcome here, would be my guesstimation. But what do IG do? I mean, I feel like you could realistically leave both up and then just take the Yone and get the Sejuani alongside it. But they go towards the Yone ban. So my expectation would be Jace. It's a bit of a no-brainer. But then where do IG go? Do they just go Sejuani to take that away from the Jace and then pick another okay matchup into the Jace as a kind of answer? Or... But then my question is, what's the top laner? Right? There are definitely options, but it does feel kind of limited, right? You could go towards something like the Ornn, but first rotation, is it really necessary? No, right? So then at that point, it's like, hey, let's go towards Rookie's pool instead, maybe an early Ahri. But my expectation should be the Sejuani, at the very least, out of this one too.
There it is.
There's one piece of the puzzle. And then the question
the new animations are so cool. I'll never get... I'm not going to get over it.
I agree.
They went all out for Spirit Blossom. It's so sick. But now we got to think about that 1-2 punch. What's going to go with the Sejuani? You usually expect some melee heavy solo laners.
Okay, Misfortune. It's a hover. I mean, the other pick that did obviously go untouched, and it's certainly not fully on the radar for both of these mid laners, but it's not like they don't play as the Azir.
True.
As well.
Yeah, it is most played for both of them. On the split so far, which is absolutely hilarious. And it is also the Misfortune, which is tied now, at least going into this game. Gala trying to get a lot of plays going for him in terms of the presence we've seen from Misfortune. Very heavy in the 2v2 lane presence, as Top Esports going to try to play away from that, a little bit of safety for JackeyLove on the Ezreal.
Yeah, JackeyLove on the Ezreal. Might be a champion he's fairly well known for. I'm not sure. Jungle answer, right? No? I mean, I don't mind the Leona takeaway, just because obviously it does feel like the amount of agency that Leona Misfortune could have would be quite high, but Nautilus and Leona, they both kind of function similarly, just offer slightly different things.
You also get the Solar Flare to stop the bullet time if you can line it up well. So that'll be like literally Crisp's job going forward. Would really like a little bit of a blocking structure for IG here to try to stave off some of that and set up for that front line for Gala to have success.
I think, weirdly, the Braum, obviously it can have a lot of high yield value, but just to play devil's advocate here for a moment, it's very obvious what the Braum is going to provide here, right? Decent additional front line. It's going to really nullify Chris' ability to go inside of the laning phase. But I feel like you wouldn't mind, obviously Rel's out, so Rel would usually be the best pairing with Misfortune, but you wouldn't mind a Nautilus. You wouldn't mind like another go-in support here, just because you've got that Misfortune, you've got the Sejuani. But at the very least, what this does mean is Gala Meiko should have a lot of freedom in the early game to really move around the map at a whim, and that's now what you really want to see out of this bottom lane of IG, and strong solo laners now to be drafted for IG as well. I'm expecting TheShy's pick on 4 here, and Top Esports also expecting that as they remove the Ambessa. And again, the only other kind of big pick here that I would say that you could really kind of pick into Jace to attempt to nullify is something like the Ornn. We did see, and I mentioned it earlier, things like the Shen got buffed. He's not got, he doesn't have a horrible time into the Jace. It's not like super fun, but you get to kind of nullify and then play out the rest of the map. Yorick obviously has now been removed away. That's another option which you're not going to be able to utilize. Of course.
There it is, yet again.
All right.
Why not? It's his most played, at least tied with it. Now will be his most played. And keeping an aggressive stance onto the Jace. Going to be important. His side lane prowess is second to none on that champion. He can absolutely pick you apart with it. So changing up a little bit and not going with kind of a frontline setup for the Misfortune, leaving Gala to his own devices a little bit in that regard. But the Azir also now coming through for Creme. We are going for comfort there, and we're going for a ton of setup for the team through Creme.
I would have hated it if IG decided to go Azir on 4. That would have been terrible, I think. But hey, look, honestly, TheShy has made this Nidalee work enough to the point now where it's certainly not something to just automatically turn your nose up at. Kanavi is going to find his way onto the Poppy. And let's see whether or not this ends up being this Victor lock. I think it makes the most sense. Right? You're not really going to be super pressured by the Poppy. It's only really about making sure that you're not getting shuffled. Scaling onto one is fine. Should be a pretty easy lock-in for IG.
That's big. A lot of scaling to add to the fluctuation of the damage that's going to be coming through for IG. Will end up being the TheShy Nidalee, famous at this point, trying to put Top Esports down 2-0. Can you imagine, after this massive streak from Top Esports, that IG are the ones to delve into a 2-0 against them? That would be absolutely wild. I expect Top Esports to be a little bit angry from that last one, and going with this Kanavi Poppy, a lot of onus on him to kind of keep the engages going and being active.
That he should. The engage tools are certainly there on both teams this time around, right? Spoke about the lack of proper go buttons in game number 1. It didn't stop them from fighting, but this time around, they certainly have a lot more access to it. With Leona on one side, Sejuani on the other, and a bunch of other champions that are pretty happy to just throw buttons and abilities at one another when they're standing in front of an objective. This game should be a good one. I think it'll be a little bit more hotly contested than game number 1, just because of, I think the fact that so many of these matchups are quite back and forth. Mid lane 1 is perhaps the most quiet. It should give us a very fun time, and I'm really going to be looking at Kanavi to try and have an impact here, especially after game 1. Frankly, I'm not going to say fully getting out jungled, but who else on the team? Yeah, who else on the team could get out smoked, So it's like, that's what I'm looking at for this one. Has to come alive properly as we send our way in to game number 2.
Game 2 in the Shinobi Wars here as we get into the second iteration of this. Again, IG took the first matchup here in week 2 of Group Ascend. Now putting Top Esports backs against the wall with a composition that has a ton of options moving forward and a little bit of their own flavor as we get into it now, the Gios.
There were 2 people chanting IG there. I feel like normally there's always one dedicated team chant.
Sometimes it's like a bunch of people.
Yeah, I guess.
Depends.
That's true. Well, TheShy
a lot of Gios though. That felt good.
Yeah, that it did. I will never get more than Gios.
So, we got the side lane prowess of TheShy on the Nidalee against the Jace from 369. Again, these are still comfort picks across the table for both teams coming into this one. But we are going to get the opposite side starts for both junglers, so maybe looking at some different focuses for those first gank paths.
Potentially. Kanavi wants to get active around the bot lane. TheShy goes with shenanigans, all the extra movement speed from the W procs. Traps.
Dude.
Grasp stacks.
It's the most ADHD gameplay, I feel like. Like, you have to always just be doing something. Like, if you're not doing something, you're doing it wrong in Italy, it feels like. You're looking for grass stacks. You're switching through Cougar form. You're going for an auto. You're going for midi. Like, it just feels like it's the most you have to actually pay attention. And TheShy, when he's paying attention, he's locked in. So maybe that's just the focus.
True. TheShy, I mean, as a player, has, historically had some of the craziest individual highs we've ever seen, right? So maybe that's the requirement, just being a little bit locked in these days. As it's been a while since we've seen those peaks at times. Though that completely derailed BLG's 2023 World Run, right? The most recent high peak. Pretty much single-handedly. Never gonna forgive him for it, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't impressive. Again, just continuing to harass, and we spoke about the junglers, right? Jiejie is on his way up here. I wonder how much pressure presence is going to be afforded through this Ridley. One other small thing, and we're just going to fly because A, the observers are panning up here. There's nothing else going on in the rest of the map.
Engage now. They heard you talking. And they go for the engage as you say it. But yeah, it should just be the biggest thing is like with these different timers on the Rift, if we are going to get any of those iterations of early gank pass or kind of just what we had been seeing beforehand with the double grubs, where a lot of the time first patch just ended up being a full clear. JackeyLove is hovering around top side, but it's just going to get the back off in the end. He's spotted. Coming in, they do know 369 gonna get attacked, gonna flash out. Don't end up getting the permafrost, but Jiejie tanking up and up. TheShy flashes first blood, cleanly executed by IG, and GigaShy is there.
Wow. I think TheShy perfect pixel flash to not take that second tower shot. Like if he flashes earlier, he might still be in range. As well. There's the early swap we were talking about. JackeyLove and Chris do not want to be in that bot lane matchup, but also the problem is Gala and Meiko resetting a wave later will just follow them. Anyway, Jiejie, auto Q, very good. The second part of the W still connects, despite the replay is actually not showing the permafrost stack. It's kind of it's bugged inside the wall.
Yeah, it only got up to 4.
Flash there from TheShy, just about perfectly timed to get himself out from underneath the tower. Just a couple of right clicks away. He's going to hold on to this wave. Doesn't want it to crash. Fully anyway.
Sheen now. That's tough for 369 to deal with. I do like that we got the swap going through here. I don't think either team is really going to be able to lean on Dragon early, so I think everybody's just going to be scaling up until that 8-minute mark when the new grub spawns. And that fight is definitely going to be a big tussle. I think grubs are very important for both sides of the Rift this time around.
But they are. Jumps in the solo lanes, while maybe Victor very happy to side lane. Grubs are a very potent tool. But again, as is and has always been the case of grubs, they are a win more objective. So you have to be ahead to use them.
TheShy and side lane with grubs would be a menace, man.
It's only really going to be Creme that should be able to answer him in the side lane as time goes on. I mean, you know, Jace is definitely going to be able to offer up a lot as well, but I think the key differentiator is that Creme can do it from a significantly further distance away and with higher DPS, whereas Jace, a little bit less. So if our junglers are on the bottom side again, the Skull Crab is spawning here.
He's gonna fight. Creme moving over. It does have Emperor's Divide, so Creme Shuffle available to him. Scuttle Crab is going to be secured in the end by Kanavi there. I will say though, just as a little shout to 369, Jace is no slouch. There's a reason why they went ahead and grabbed it up so early there. See if he can really come to a hole here, as in that last series we saw tonight, Jace definitely came in clutch.
Yeah, that did. Kanavi knows his blue buff's up. Jiejie's 100% going to be here though. It's really awkward. First move could definitely come from TheShy. He's a little bit out of mana, but look at the mid lane. Rookie's shoved in. It's awkward. I think Kanavi should just drop this.
Yeah, he's going to do so.
Leashed it.
Thanks for the leash, Jiejie. Already smite diffed you in the first game, and now we're going to just take the blue buff from you. Thank you. Dragon is still up though. The Scuttle Crab giving vision over to top esports. Oh, not again. He's got level 6 over the wall, missing the Glacial Prison. Maybe he's going to get the permafrost stack though, but Jiejie is so damn tanky with that giant spell completed.
Guys.
Oh, guys, chill. Big damage from the turret, but TheShy still gets the kill. Creme has come to answer. It took way too long for IG to get that one, and now TheShy should pay the ultimate price. Gonna fight over it, but Creme cleans up the kill. That'll be 481 gold going his way now, and he cleans up the bot wave.
You got to grasp the steps. That's the important thing. Rookie, however, is answering this with plates in the mid lane of the mode. IG's, like, the idea of the dive is good. It's just the execution was
yeah, absolutely,
certainly lacking. And because it lacks, they're not able to turn on something like maybe a dragon off the back end. And of course we see Creme come in and clean up, and that's a very nice influx of gold into the Azir, who otherwise would have just probably stayed mid and stayed very stable in this game. All these balls are going to get their way onto the grub as well, and a lot of that is basically just off the back of this bot lane dive, so it's actually a very good sequence for top esports. I would love to credit 369, but honestly, Jiejie and TheShy's hands just kind of stopped working for about 15 seconds. Not ideal.
We have seen this as a bit of a trend tonight, I will say, is IG not feeling like they can contest that grubs. There's no longer a second opportunity. The 3 means a lot with the mites, and they just go for that early dragon stacking, or at least not early, but dragon stacking in general. Will be an early infernal dragon though as the first one, so that'll be a little bit nicer for them to hold on to.
Yep, that it will.
They want it. Solar Flare insta-cleanse. Nice Captain Jack from Gala. Oh, did they find Meiko though? Okay, Meiko's he's good. He's good. He's fine.
That's the power of the owner, just being able to kind of walk up to a champion and go, I want your stun spell. And securing it.
This means that Gala's gonna have to be a lot more careful with his ultimate. Really gonna have not gonna be able to use it as super aggressively because he's gonna be standing still. A lot of engage could come his way. I think that's the most difficult thing and why I haven't really been sold on Misfortune in general. We have seen it win. It is good by occasion. And Gala did have a pop-off last time around these two teams faced on Misfortune. Gonna have to prove it to me here on this one.
See, he's got okay setup, but this is what I was talking about earlier, right? Like, there's no big AoE CC on the side of IG. That's why you would have loved to see something like flawless. At least occasionally you can get a big bit of CC out. Let's back up.
Oh, they're getting surrounded. Big Glacial Fissure into the bullet, but it gets Keeper's Verdict out of there. Yeet! And there goes Gala out of the fight, immediately turning on to Meiko as he will fall to be the immediate trade, though, as Kanavi is down. TP, we are not stopping. 369, gonna get hit, gonna have to flash immediately. Now Crisp in trouble, the Cougar Claw think deep, double kill for TheShy.
2 kills, go over to the Nidalee. Even gets a red buff. Skirmish was basically just over vision, right? And a potential rotation to the bottom side of this map, and it goes IG's way. JackeyLove goes not around for any of that. It's just good fighting from IG, plain and simple.
Even the dog agrees. As maybe the cat's gonna agree as well. Shy. I've seen this so many times, man. I've seen it so many damn times, and it works out every time. He is starting to change the idea of what Nidalee can be in the top side, starting to see it kind of go through. I even saw it at NACL not too long ago, and this week rather. And he's starting to sink deep here. 4-1 now, already Trinity Force completed. The bruiser items enable this champion so strongly.
Yeah, this Nidalee has become a very, very frustrating champ to deal with. And again, the only realistic answer will be Creme on this Azir later on. And you can actually see top esports have continually, for the last couple of minutes, been trying to assign Creme to wherever they feel like TheShy is going to be. As well as obviously trying to take into consideration where the objectives are and such, but haven't found that consistent success just yet. In matching that one for the time being. No objectives for another 90 seconds. Ocean Dragon, if IG can pick that up, they'll be pretty big in putting a fair bit of pressure on Top Esports' overall kind of curve in this game. Waiting till 2 items. JackeyLove, it feels like he's not based in a little while because he's on some pretty bare bones components. Maybe another wave away from Triforce. We'll have to see about TheShy. He wants that Demolish Brock. He's not going to get it.
Give me those grass stacks, though. You know, that's sometimes all that matters. It is still, though, another objective coming up, about 45 seconds. Another dragon. Could be IG's focus now. But those first items maybe changing up the board a little bit. Some scaling coming through for Rookie, completing that Roa as it starts stacking. But I will say Creme on 1.5 items. Will be going for that nasty tooth next as well. Gonna have some strength of his own. JackeyLove hitting the Trinity Force spike is now a push play onto Chris. This is locked down. Is it going to be enough? Double CC and TheShy's here too. Ripping through them yet again. And now JackeyLove once more. Try to get the concussive blows there. Won't end up following through, but he goes 5-1 Jamada. This is a masterclass from the master of the top lane in the LPL.
Okay, hold on.
Come on.
No, I'm bursting that balloon straight away. 5-1, but it's almost all been
of the Nidalee, bro. That man around him. Nobody else can do this.
All right. Sure.
You want to?
Sure.
I
know, but always gotta be the party pooper. Top Esports. Crisp could not move.
No, he could not.
That was pretty funny. You said 2 times CC. I think he got quadruple CC because it was like the Winter's Bite, right? Braum passive into Braum knockup, into Sejuani E, into Sejuani O. Like, he was not allowed to play the game. However,
they get the dragon.
Despite the pick, it's actually Top Esports that get the dragon.
Love to see it. A little bit of capitalization there. Now they even up the dragon score. We do have about 15 seconds until the Rift Herald comes up. We'll see if they kind of want to readapt up that way. There's going to be a back and like reset out from Crisp at least. But we did end up getting into a situation where we start to see some of the strength of Top Esports when they can move around the map, but I still think they're waiting on a lot of items, they're waiting on a lot of time, and I've really appreciated how fast IG have been willing to kind of play the map and play the side lanes.
Side lanes can be the most important thing in this. I feel like with Dragons only being 1 apiece, 15 minutes in, we're not going to see a soul for a very long time. I highly doubt we're going to get to a point where Elder's a factor, but I mean, honestly, especially in the last week or so, I feel like I've seen weirder things. So I'm gonna hold my breath, especially after watching the the LEC Pro Show last week. Like every game was weird. Whether it was a stomp or whether it was a very hotly contested one. Back over to here. It's only about 2,500 gold lead. But IG, again, they've got the tools to really force the issue when and where they want. They were able to pick up that Herald just a moment ago as well. So Jiejie has the opportunity to plop that down wherever he sees fit. All 3 outer towers are chunked out enough that a Herald would be pretty efficient at taking that one down. Tower down, and TheShy, I think, is kind of one Top Esports offer is really good. They are giving up a bit of mid lane prio though, so Gala could maybe shove this one out and then either hit the tower himself or move to the bot side and that.
And it's so crazy, man. We do have like a pretty decent gold lead being developed super early in the game by IG.
Oh, there's a TP coming from a 0.
But they want to go particularly take this play on the 369 and top side. The turret's very, very low. Again, Top Esports have been dominant in the league. I mean, they won last split. Obviously, first stand didn't go their way. But they're 9-1, and that one, a stain on their record against IG of all teams. And even with all these issues, you see that they're 5-6 IG are. They've just had TES's number so far this split, and it's looking like this lead could be something they can build into. about 2.4, 2.5 thousand gold up. That was a little bit weird. I like the observers. Call them out. Call them out.
Yeah, I mean, so this is the thing, right? You can tell how bad the IG want to keep TheShy on the mid lane into the Jace. Just because he can really bully out.
Uh-oh. He's in trouble now. He's going to flash out. Get a lot of damage on the Creme, but the Solar Flare dodged out of. He can't get away. Doesn't have anything. The Cougar Claw's not going to come out that time. And now Top Esports counts on top lane themselves. Aren't going to immediately burst down this turret with the Rift grubs, at least, that they were given freely. As I think Kanavi just used the Keeper Ferdy there to keep the minions away. It's actually pretty worth it.
Really big,
and they're onto a tier 2 in top side.
Yeah, it's a big tempo burn up.
Oh, they're trying to get onto JackeyLove. He's going to burn the Arcane Shift. He's going to cleanse out of the slow as well. Jiejie coming around now, too. Trying to set up a big bullet time, but they can't get in range.
Look at the bot lane as well whilst it's all going on. 369 picked up the tier 1 tower. He's also hitting this tier 2. I mean, pretty
it's dead even now.
Yeah, he's got 3 grubs. He might just kill it. It's kind of close. Literally might just not get here in time.
He's got to start respecting the 3 grubs. I don't know, man. That's like multiple times we've seen just full-on trades, no fighting over grubs, and it comes back to bite them so badly.
Yeah, but
not just these two teams, obviously.
But TheShy does a very good job sidestepping the owner armor, but quite really shuffled back in a lot of danger. And then end up falling in the shutdown because of JackeyLove, which is a big deal for Esports. You can see, however, why there was so much apprehension around TheShy. Kind of picking where he wanted to place himself, ended up teleporting to that top side of the map, but that was where the Esports had more members. And again, he wants to be in isolation against this Jiejie. That is just what this Nidalee wants to be doing this game. And unfortunately for himself, the moment that he finds himself into Creme yet again, he is picked on very aggressively. And now this dragon is spawning. All of those tower trades have equalized out the gold. I'm sure IG will still feel like the favorites to secure this objective.
Dead even game state though. Top Esports now with the second item completed for both JackeyLove and Creme and Evolution. They're feeling good. Keeper Verdict stopped in its tracks by the Glacial Prison. Jiejie with the timing of the play. Absolutely massive there. They will end up getting the dragon. That'll be second dragon secured for them on their way to a Cloud Soul.
Wouldn't even let himself be outsmited. Want to afford the opportunity. TheShy must be pretty close to his second item. Jiejie just finished his. Time to clear the wave, don't want to deal with pressure. Very understandable. Rookie also wants to probably make his way over to a side lane. In a moment to start securing some waves. Looks like he's going to move up to the top side. State of the map right now for Top Esports isn't that bad. They're actually in a okay position to start the Atacon. I feel like it, but the Herald is definitely going to pull them away now. And Tier 1 tower is dead. Then
pretty big. They are going to leave it after that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's just to pull Top Esports off that, and they can go and yeah, they can do this.
I think Creme overextending. He does have the Sun Disc, but I don't know if that's going to save you against this combo. It's like they're a little bit hesitant to do it under vision. With 4 members down here, though, not going to be able to get anything for it. Creme's starting to pump out some serious damage. And some of that scaling starting to come online for Top Esports. We said, you know, third item for them is really that break point where it becomes hard for IG, even though if they have some scaling on their own end.
A lot of side laning of TheShy here, and then maybe, you know, Gala putting in a bit of work, but I mean, the Top Esports draft kind of plays itself, man. There's not much else to say. They just walk around in a 5 and pick whatever is in front of them. Get this tier 2 on the bottom side of the map. That's another cash injection for predominantly the carries there. And the 2 items being available to JackeyLove and Creme now, they are fully online. And I mean, they're ahead of their counterparts, like both of them respectively, right? Rookie and Gala have not got their second item cleared yet. This current assignment from IG, they're going to give over the Atacon. Rookie will get that feels very good in the moment, but this new Atacon buff is permanent, right? It's not a... Well, I mean, you know, the old the old petals were technically permanent too, but with this new one, right, the kill on the slow, the AoE slow on effect would be a really big factor in, you know, snowballing a team fight. And when you think about the fact that there's so much range on this top esports composition, these kills might be happening at range, right? And that slowdown could have a lot of impact on securing the next snowball in that kill, right?
It's terrifying for IG to see that Creme and JackeyLove are sitting pretty here with really undisturbed gold advantages for themselves, as they will be having a lot of stacking going for themselves. And now we do have a little bit of time till that next dragon. It would be soul point for IG, so they have some decision-making priority in that fashion. But really, you're trying to buy time for TheShy to get this third item, get some side lane prowess going, get these turrets down for them, and try to play off this competition. But I think some prior decisions are really going to start coming back to bite IG, like giving over those 3 grubs, giving over a lot of the prio around these fights as well. I mean, look, they weren't able to really get in position, and easy pickings for top esports to now continue to even this state of the game.
Yeah, I feel like weirdly, so much of this does kind of come down to landing on the wall over the Nautilus, right? Only having one very, like, kind of non-committal way of engage feels kind of bad. And, you know, top esports, they obviously technically also only have Crisp, but there is significantly easier follow-up via Creme and Kanavi to really make those engages stick. Whereas on this IG side, it's a little bit more nuanced than that. Meiko is going to stop that true shot barrage after the odd angle. TheShy will get this tower, but it's taken 24 minutes to do so. So, I'm a bit concerned.
Oh.
Meiko is fine. That was a very deep dive into Kanavi, but he's not fussed at all.
Dragon's coming up now, though, and the reset is there from IG, but they will be late if they want to try to come get this dragon. Maybe if they try to reset instantly, as Kanavi's going to try to take this blue buff 2 ahead of the dragon spawn. Still have about 10 seconds for that to come up.
Man, if they waited 5 more seconds to keep up with the content. Well, it's the little things, man. Top esports can get this dragon pretty freely. And there's actually an assist ping towards that top tier 2, so I wonder if they're going to try and dive 369 in exchange. You can see the mid wave is gone. Meiko is also rotating over, but I think they're a bit late on the wave. That's the problem. The wave's going to be dead. Almost. Jiejie makes it here. He's something off the blue buff.
Yeah, and the 2-shot barrage across.
Wow.
So Dragons even up 2-2. Top esports will end up giving a tier 2 turret and top side for it. A little bit of gold standing over to IG. He's looking. Creme's poking and prodding here as Baron has spawned. A little bit of attack speed might do top esports a little bit of justice if they want to start up anything. Wallbang coming in. They're in a little bit of trouble. Gonna Arctic Assault away to safety. TheShy is still hovering. The top esports need to be careful of how they take these entrances. Krug, though, important, but maybe not as important as your life as the CC chain comes through. Meiko flashing excellently over the wall and will survive. Now JackeyLove's feeling himself against his old top laner on IG. And we'll be getting stronger and stronger as time goes on. Here goes top esports, the siege into top side. And they're getting so much value with their grubs across the board. It's only a matter of time until they really find some side lane issues to deal themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Like IG of, I think they're out of time. I think they're kind of gassed here. I really struggle to see many worlds where they can get themselves out of this chokehold. I know the gold, the gold difference between the two teams is not particularly high, right? But so much of the lead was front-ended into TheShy, and the fact that they've been able to push any more significant leads through him on the side lane has been very, very worrying. And I mean, even if you look, right, look at the inventory between 369 and between TheShy. There's 1,000 gold lead between, TheShy and 369, but 369 has 3 complete items, right? Like that is a very, very large difference in power. And obviously, TheShy has put money into tier 2 and tier 3 boots. But at the end of the day, items change champs, man. And those tier 3 boots, whilst they are obviously buffed and significantly better than they were in the previous patch, still not better than the completed item. That is still the end-all be-all here. Oh. So, wow, JackeyLove is really feeling himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 3 items now. I would be too. So you have the Shojins completed off the back of that one. We did have a stop off for the Seekers from Creme, so he'll be a little bit late on that 3rd item, the third completed item at least, but he's got a smorgasbord here in his inventory and a lot of damage packed into this top esports team fight here, even with 369 going lethality as IG getting surrounded on. They're trying to fight through their jungle here if they don't really have any tools available to them. Now Jiejie, he's going to get the double knock up there by Kanavi. Blocking with the Unbreakable goes Meiko, but Meiko's getting very low. TP now coming into the fight as well, but this feels like top esports. They're getting into the flow state here. We're potentially thinking about going for that Baron play. They do have a lot of damage now. It looks like trying to get back to mid lane prio. TheShy is here to give them a little bit of damage, but he gets engaged on now as well. Gala waiting ever patiently to get a bullet time. 1 bullet time hitting across the team of top esports makes the entire difference in these team fights. And IG, they feel like they can actually defend this side of the map for themselves.
Time being, they can. I mean, I feel like one player we haven't spoken about at all is Rookie, and it's because he's actually managed to go nothing in this game. 0-0-0. But he is 10 CS per minute, and he is very close to 3 items. He could very well be the difference maker in a game like this.
He is the scaler. Like he is the win condition.
He actually just is, right? If IG aren't able to find leads on the side lane, which, you know, at this point it's very safe to say they haven't been able to, then yeah, he is the saving grace. Bar Gala manages to find a, you know, a very magical bullet time. Yeah, that's not really been the case, and without the ability to have very consistent AoE lockdown, it will be hard to find. TheShy now does have a 3rd complete item, so it'll be very annoying to deal with on the side lane. But without TP, you can't walk to the bottom side of the map right now and be a nuisance whilst Baron's up. Even with this Dragon coming online, I think both these teams may well just ignore it for a little bit. Maybe they'll come to this mid wave and rotate over, but with the Baron up, it feels very hard to want to care about one individual Cloud Dragon for the time being.
I will say, if there's one person I would love to give all the resources in the world to for IG, it definitely is Rookie. I really appreciate TheShy's performances, Jiejie specifically, as well as Gala, but Rookie is always that final line, that final stand for the team. And they really, really, really need to rely on him in the second game if they don't want to go the distance against top esports. Dragon number 3 secured for top esports now as they look for the engage. They find it, bullet time on a Crisp, but it was not enough. TheShy still looking to poke in damage, but Creme and JackeyLove are laying the heat now as they are cresting almost into 4 items themselves. The poke is just too hot to handle for IG. They are going to try to move over. Ping's going to the Baron, maybe push their own tempo here.
If they start this up, no bullet time. I mean, they've got the ultimate for Rookie and Meiko's ult, but Meiko's coming out. It just feels like such a risky and unnecessary start. They just really want to kill Crisp, I guess. They just keep giving everything to Crisp. They do get the lockdown going now into Meiko. He's going to flash away. Arcane is maybe happening now as TheShy goes for the play on the JackeyLove. This is the thing about TheShy. He can just get in, get out of these fights over and over again. He's such a menace. He heals. He's untouchable. And now IG, they're feeling confident to go get the Baron. This is huge. Top esports, they're being pushed to the brink now, too. Oh, they're going to go on the Rookies. Stasis. He could get a little bit back. Baron going down now as well to IG. And Rookie walks away unscathed. They're going to get away with massive Baron buffs across IG. Given the game state, this was just a heist. Plain and simple. That's so massive. IG, I mean, they have to achieve a lot, though, with the Baron Mazel. That is still the bottom line here. Even if they, you know, do secure this objective as we look at this replay. And yeah, just full on to crisp, right? Everything but the victor, pretty much, and it only gets dropped here at the very back end to chunk out Creme. But you can see how much damage is on offer from that element there. Once that reset starts going too, it'll certainly be certainly get off to a lot more damage than just that. IG looking at that tier 2 tower on the bottom side, but hey, being met by Top Esports here.
Can't get caught in transition. This is where Kanavi thrives in the in-betweens, because you can use those wall bangs to really set up Top Esports. That's his key goal now. We are getting closer and closer now that we have 3 items, 4 Gala completed, 2. Seeker's arm guard still available for Creme. His has not been broken just yet. Baron buff still for another minute and 40 seconds. Another dragon up in 2:20. Timer's a little bit off sync there, but TP back into the play by Rookie. As the Chaos Storm, they're looking for a tier 2 turret. He just comes in bursting, using that speed from the TP. They're using this cannon minion to try to get this turret. It's so low, but it's not going to go down just yet. They're going to need another wave, or at least a little bit of time here, as they're going to step up, and Gala's just going to tank the turret. Because I'm tired of this tier 2 turret down here. They're going to get the standing gold as well. Now Meiko, maybe a little bit overextended. Did pop the Unbreakable there, a little bit worried. IG looking at tier 2 in mid. They go onto TheShy. TheShy flashes away. Glacial Prison has been used though. And now IG getting the Solar Flare. Oh my god, we got ultimates flying all over the place. The stress level is through the roof right now for both teams.
It is. Tensions continue to rise. Tier 2 towers all gone, but I think that's likely the most they're going to be able to achieve in this Baron. It's still a massive swing of gold. You can see at the top of your screen, it's a 5,000 gold difference now for
so
IG.
Crazy.
The items are starting to really fall into place. Gala just picked up a rapid fire cannon. Zonya's was secured by Rookie on that previous teleport. TheShy has a QSS. Why not? Makes sense into the
36% damage done.
Oh,
that's crazy. The bruiser items are nuts. I just say a world. Like, I know there's a lot of game left to play here, and we have seen Top Esports. I mean, they're scaling. They're getting they're almost on 4 items for both their carries. What world do we live in where the only 2 losses in the split so far the group has said for Top Esports will be against IG? Like, that's just so wild to me. And it's off the back of these creative plays. It's off the back of this creativeness from IG. They still have a lot to put together here, but they're putting the screws to Top Esports, and not a lot of teams can do that.
True. But the LPL is a weird place, man. You remember the whole,
it
like,
is. The circle
of
suck.
Weibo. There's the circle of suck, like the curse of Weibo for JDG. Like, they were better than everyone, but they would just lose to Weibo. Do you remember that one? That was pretty
I
good.
do.
Maybe that's what's going on here. It's just too
Rookie's in trouble.
Rookie.
He goes golden. He got the Zanyas in time. Now, the keeper verdict goes wide. Gala had burned the bullet time. TheShy stepping up. He heals so damn much now. The poke is going to hit. Dragon is up. Top Esports can just give this one. That's looks like what's going to be the case. So we're going to 7 dragons. This series is delivering, and we're only in game 2.
Okay, Mazel, this is the part where I start getting, I don't know if cynical is the right word.
Okay.
There's only been 9 kills.
Yeah. 36 minutes in.
How has this
And a
happened?
5,000 gold lead. Yeah, it's a little wild.
Today,
It's been
I'd be commentating LCK. That's all.
Oh no. I mean, hey, come on. We have the Shies in Italy. It can't be an let's be fine. But do you see what I'm talking about him just being annoying? Like, he's just constantly doing things. And I think it just puts so much pressure on these, and you never really expect the amount of damage that he can kind of pop off in these moments. And he is a massive damage dealer for IG in these fights. You have to be careful where you're positioning as Creme and JackeyLove, or he will end up fighting. That's what's been the bane to many teams here that he's been willing to take this Nidalee out towards. We're getting pre-positioned by Top Esports around this top side now that we have less than a minute until the Baron spawns.
There will be blood at the Baron. Stop Esports with the control around it. And look at the vision as well on that top side.
Oh, the play.
Engage. Oh.
instant cleanse with the arcane shift from JackeyLove. That cooldown will be a little long for Jiejie, but not too long. It will not be available for this Baron fight if Top Esports want to start it immediately. Priority pushes in mid lane though by IG. Leaving behind Crisp and JackeyLove. The play is on to Rookie. He dodges out. The keeper's verdict. The wallbang doesn't connect. Kanavi's missing everything. Solar Flare there in there from Crisp. Now JackeyLove has some free firing positions here. Creme also following up. You have to be very careful with the lethal damage that can come out of the double carries of Top Esports. Now they're just going to burn down the Baron. Immediately start it up. The attack speed from Creme. They can burn it down so heavily. And IG are trying to move over now as well. 369 has a great flank. This might be the turning point. The Baron goes down. It's not nearly going to be enough from IG to take this fight. Bullet time fully dodged out of now as well. TheShy trying to reset this fight on the left side flank as two members going to get back. That's Kanavi, I believe, and Crisp. No, they're going to actually continue going for the fight as TheShy's chasing them down because the blow's not going to go through. IG trying to pick off people. Now they're getting picked off themselves. JackeyLove snipes him down. And now TheShy's in a 1v2, making a 1v3. Goes down to Kanavi too. And the rest of everybody from IG are falling to pieces. Top Esports take the Baron, they take the kills, and now they take the leads almost in the map as they're going to go to the tier 2 turret in the top side.
They're looking at the top wave. I mean, the question really is, how far can they go, right? You've got 40-second death timers on Gala and TheShy. You've got Baron and 5 members. Rookie can't wave clear by himself against Baron buff. Even if Jiejie is there, Top Esports really need to force this issue, and they're forcing it now!
Oh, they do, but he uses it the wrong way. Rookie's still alive now. Jiejie can tank up. The True Shot Barrage not going to be enough, but they want more. They want to go for the turret. They have the might. They have the Rift as well going for them as the Keeper's Verdict used to get a Rookie away. They're onto the turrets. Jiejie about to go down. Essence Flux is there. The pop is there too. And now that Atacon coming to bear too. Chaos Storm not going to be there. Wall bang on a Rookie. And of course we had to go to 3. The JDG signaling. And Top Esports will get us to game 3.
It was a slow burner. Not as hotly contested as game number 1, that's for sure. But this one, a bit more of a how shall we say, a thinking man's game of League of Legends. Yeah, that's how we'll dub this one, a real game of League of Legends chess.
Yes.
But this again just really comes down to me from IG not having, you know, another form of being able to really force the issue, right? Not being able to consistently send and only really having Jiejie there to do it, I think really hurt their ability to try and press TheShy's lead, right? Because whilst the Braum was fantastic at really, you know, providing a very easy lane to play in that 2v2, the Braum didn't really achieve much else, unfortunately, right? And I think that is just kind of the nature of getting sucked into those Braum lanes sometime. Whereas on the opposite side for Top Esports, they kind of just played time. They recognized, hey, we still had leads across the map. It was just 369 who was kind of suffering in the 1v1. If we can lane assign him out of that 1v1, scale up, hit our item breakpoints, sooner or later we're going to be fine. And that's exactly what we saw ended up playing out here.
Yeah, and I think we could see it coming from a mile away. But in the moment, it felt like IG maybe finding some success. Nidalee will not work out for TheShy in the end. And I think Top Esports can be very happy to be able to bring this to 3. Again, they always go to 3. Like 90% of their last series have gone to 3 games. And sometimes there's just a little bit of a lapse for this team, even though they find themselves at 9-1. And again, you know, the importance of that rematch looming large here between the two. But I'm actually really excited to go back and look at the stats here, as we'll be getting to that here shortly, to see exactly who ended up having that kind of most impact. Because we know who it was on the side of IG, right? TheShy had so much of the advantages going for his side of things. But it was a pretty holistic team effort there from the side of Top Esports.
That it was, right? It was really everyone on Top Esports side who kind of just got things going. I'm wondering who the MVP will end up being. Obviously, Creme and JackeyLove dished out a bunch of damage, but look at that gold graph.
What the hell, man?
Yeah. Welcome to the LPL. The only thing it was really missing was more kills. Otherwise, that gold graph feels pretty on par.
That is a gold graph of all time. My God. We've been getting a lot of all-time moments tonight, apparently. But, yeah, I mean, Creme came out pretty clutch. I like that turn onto the Baron. I think Top Esports knew exactly what they had when they get those 4-item spikes. With the scaling nature of their comp, it felt really good. And even if Kanavi was not on a carry this time around, more on a facilitator, still had a lot of influence. Him and Jiejie were going head-to-head over and over again in this one. But I have to point out for IG, like, you have to respect the objectives in the new map. Like, I know it's new to these teams, but the Grubs got so much value, my man. Like, they literally tore down so many turrets back to back to back because of the Grubs setup for them. And it definitely enabled them to kind of counter the Shy's side lane play.
Weirdly, if this dive went smoother, I wonder if the game is different. Like, I feel like the snowball could have actually been harder for IG here. If they're able to walk out, Creme doesn't get like a little bit of extra like gold accelerating going. Wonder if that's really one of the big game changers. This is obviously another one as well, but this felt like it didn't need to happen, you know. And even then, it was pretty, you know. Like, again, it was a lot of. It was a 2-2 in the end, I want to say, and it was TheShy that got this gold. So it's like, I hate to say it. Feels like another big draft issue for the red side team, but it's one of their own creation, unfortunately.
True.
We will see. I mean, my expectation is IG go to blue side, and it's about what Top Esports are able to actually conjure up, not just in gameplay, but of course in draft too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be the big question because it is Fearless, so we'll have a lot of picks and bans to think about and go through as well. Because the fact that we get to go to 3, I mean, it means a lot, obviously, for both organizations here, but also in the history of LPL, getting to see these two guys, these two organizations go at it. Obviously, with a lot of new faces in some regard, but some good old ones too. And you know, it had to go to 3 all the way. As this snipe from JackeyLove felt really good, and this was a little bit of the fluctuation we saw in start to see at least that IG were falling apart, or at least falling asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so difficult to play. It doesn't feel like there's a proper carry on the side of IG here. And again, that's my biggest concern. There was no setup for the Misfortune. The Misfortune pick felt kind of out of place then because of it in totality, which just sucks for Gala. Gala doesn't get to have an impact because of that. And Top Esports running a composition which just is a self-driving car, right? You said, you know, IG fell asleep at the wheel. Top Esports got one of those fancy self-driving cars with decent sensors. So
true that.
Really did not have to sweat or struggle that much.
Yeah, and now we got to think who gets MVP. Is it Kanavi? Does he get it for the at least setup? Is the damage enough?
They'll probably give it to Creme because he dealt the most damage.
I
think it's a really rudimentary vote, but I think there's not really anyone else to give it to. You definitely could give it to Jiejie. I'm not Jiejie, to Kanavi rather, but
it's Creme. Most damage.
There wasn't even a big play that he did. It's just he dealt the most damage. What? Like, it's
2-0 and 5.
Yeah, fantastic. Third MVP.
There you go.
Good looks, Creme. Well done.
Good looks, Creme. The Azir came out clutch, but Top Esports more so as a whole came out clutch, knowing what their win condition was and playing towards it. Now that means we go the distance with our third series.